I went on the wildest journey last night.
Okay, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
We watched this movie, and then afterwards, May was like, do you remember the movie Mirror, Mirror? And I was like, no, I don't think I've ever seen this. And she was like, we have to watch it. and I was like, yeah, okay, sure. So we sat down and we watched it. And then afterwards, May was like, no, I don't think I've ever seen the original Snow White. So then we watched that, too. Well, she was on a hiking trip when I watched it.
Right, yes. Still weird, though.
So I know. So we watched it, so I got to watch it again. And which means I went to bed at like 3 a.m. last night.
After watching 3 different versions of Snow White?
I gotta tell you, man, I was so bummed out at the end of this movie. Watching Mirror, Mirror and the original Snow White made me happy again.
Welcome to Direct to Video VHS.
VHS.
I am your host, Tony Robusto.
I'm your host, Andres Reyes.
And I'm going out of my way to say it because we do have a new podcast host, and therefore maybe we'll reach more people, and they should know our names.
Yeah, of course.
And also, maybe I'm overcompensating about this whole bad at podcast thing, so I'm saying my name at the top.
Right. We're really we're going to be professional about this.
We watched Snow White 2025 this month, and it's full-ass garbage. Dude,
the speed at which I got hit with, oh no, we're gonna be in for this. They're making choices. I gotta tell you, it was a roller coaster ride that was constantly going down, but there was a specific point in the movie where it was a full on nosedive, and we'll get to it. Okay, I want to say at the top here, I think that I need to pull up the Wikipedia for this movie because I there's no way I'm going to remember the names of anybody. I think Rachel Ziegler is the name of the actress who played Snow White.
I believe that's her. Yeah, because I was talking to my cousin about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, Rachel Ziegler's good," and I was like, "Okay, I'll have to believe you."
She's fine. I think she's fine.
She is one. Okay. So this is a film with two leads, and neither of them are given anything to do, but one of them is dragging it down, and it's not Rachel.
Right, correct. Rachel Ziegler is doing the best she can with what she's being given. I think the romantic lead in this movie, oh gosh, Wikipedia is normally so fast at sending me to this fucking movie. And yet, for some reason, this time it refuses to. Andrew Burnap. I think Andrew Burnap is good. I think he has a good he has a good energy. He's definitely the best. He's the best singer on the cast, but that's because he's that's what he's been doing, I think, up until this movie.
We could bring in half a dozen experts, each of them an expert in something different that goes into filmmaking, and each of them could tell us explicitly what this movie did wrong.
Yeah.
This is the vibe I get from this movie the whole way. Every wrong decision was made. Except, I'll say this. The songs are fine.
No. I disagree. Sorry, I think the songs are trash. Well, all the new stuff that they added in hits me like a freight train with how bad it is.
I'm gonna try to meet you in the middle here. I think these songs are what did Jamie call it? Generic. They're really generic. They sound Broadway to me, but they don't sound like Snow White. They don't sound really like anything. But if you were to compare it to the other over-engineered Disney movie that came out, Wish, I think these songs are better than the songs in Wish.
I haven't seen Wish, so I can't do a comparative analysis, but I can tell you that I called 2 seconds into this movie who wrote the new music of this movie.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
2 seconds into this movie, I was like, this is some real, like, generic pop music. I bet the guys who did Greatest Showman did this.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
sure enough, they did. Like, they are, I gotta tell you, I do hate these guys on, like, a personal level.
Cool.
I do not like them. I also hate them on, like, a professional level. I do not like any of their work. But they certainly have a style.
This is exactly what I've decided I feel about Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Same. And listen, we're gonna talk about Gal Gadot's performance.
I try to give her a fair shake, man. I swear to God.
I was like, you know what? Like, I want to be fair. I don't want my personal, like, absolutely, like her. She has, like, a lot of despotic, fucking awful opinions, and so it's like I don't want to let that influence my like, you know, because like here's, like, I think a good example of this is, like, Johnny Depp, who's a fucking monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he can act. Like, the guy...
But he's like, funny in movies and good in movies. And that's right. Part of what's irritating.
It's frustrating. It's actually frustrating to go back and watch Pirates of the Caribbean and be like, no, he really is fucking carrying this film. It's wild.
He's really good. He made it into a franchise of, like, 5 movies, even though, like, the last 2 nobody gave a shit about.
Yeah. I thought there were 6, but I'm not going to check.
There might be 6.
I mean, he was so good. He was so influential that they made The Lone Ranger.
Oh yeah, they made him Cherokee, I think.
Yes, they made him. He got to cosplay, do a little red face.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I remember that. That was wild. I watched that movie. That's enough.
I wanted to give this movie a fair shake. I was like, you know what? I'm not a big fan of the original Snow White anyway.
I had the same thought. I was like, I was not looking forward to this movie, but I was like, here's the thing. I don't hold Snow White to such a high regard. So maybe this one will be fine because I won't be like, oh, look what they're doing to this movie I like. I'll just be like, they're reimagining some stuff. And it doesn't work any of it. Like, it's so wild.
I have to, and I have to do this because I have to do this. I think whoever I don't want to put the blame on, like, the person who wrote the screenplay, because I'm sure that, like, writing the screenplay for this movie was a nightmare that involved countless meetings with hundreds of suits, right?
I imagine it's a lot like being a video game writer, which I don't really know anything about except I have read what other people have said about it.
Yeah, Rihanna Pratchett has really good articles on what that's like.
Which is like, you write something and you're proud of it, and then they figure out how much of that they can put in the game and how much of it they're going to just cut whole cloth. And then when the game comes out, people are like, this is bad writing. And you're like, it's not bad writing. They've just only put 10% of my writing in. Like, of course it'll be bad if nothing is in here.
But I feel like they made every wrong choice for their adaptational maneuvers. Yeah. Which is rough. Like, you know, I guess I can't, I'm not the like arbiter of, like, what does, like, a good adaptation look like, but I felt like every choice that they made was wrong and bad.
A couple of the choices I do think were an editor thing. I'm going to talk about a specific character that I think was originally going to be one of the dwarves. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. And I was like, in a rational movie, this would be a dwarf instead of these fucking creepy AI generated looking monsters.
Oh, dude.
That are just the worst thing on screen all the time.
I never got used to it. It shocked me every time.
I hated looking at the dwarves, but I was also offended that they weren't in the movie more. Like, that's where I was at. I was like, they're kind of the stars.
It's Snow White. and the Seven Dwarfs. And I guess they took the Seven Dwarfs out of the movie, or out of the title.
Out of the title.
So getting into it a bit, I don't want to. Oh yeah, I was gonna dunk on Mark Webb for 45 minutes. I'm not gonna do that. I think Mark Webb is a kind of a hack director, but he's a working director. I don't think the guy has he's not known for doing original artistic work. So I think this is clearly just a paid gig for him, and it shows because the directing in this is very uninspired.
The thing about this movie that I think is very clear very quickly is nobody was making a big artistic decision at any level.
No.
Right? It's it's what I suspect it's like, and I did not watch this movie either, is Star Wars Episode 9. Star Wars Episode 9.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Brother.
Star Wars
buddy.
Episode 8 is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah,
and
it's
Star
really
Wars
good.
Episode 9 looked so terrible that I refused to watch it. And it's for the same reason. Episode 8, it was somebody who wanted to try something.
And
Episode 9, it was a studio who was like, we just want to make a movie that people aren't going to talk about on Twitter.
They really succeeded on that. So, all right, I guess getting into it, because I feel like this is going to be so over detailed. I like the book.
The book was fine. But immediately I hated the animals. The chipmunk has human arms. Has it slipped in that book?
They move like people, and that's wrong, right?
It is a little bit later that I'll really notice this, but they made the animals look unrealistic in a way that I feel like they were going for cartoony, but because they are Lion King style, Lion King remake style animals, they look too real to look that cartoony, and therefore they look ugly instead of cute.
Do you remember the movie Hop?
No.
They look sorry, I hate, so Hop is an Easter film starring James Marsden about Easter and bunnies and stuff. Okay. The animals in the bunnies in this movie look like the bunnies in that movie. And that's not that's not the kind of comparison you want.
Right.
I think at one point May was they look like that new Brer Rabbit movie.
And I don't know why they didn't do photorealistic, but I do know why they didn't do the other thing I would have wanted, which is to just make them way more cartoony, maybe even 2D. Because that would have been too much of a swing, but I think it could have worked in a Snow White adaptation.
They're fully anti-2D at this point at Disney.
Yeah.
They're so that was never going to happen. But you're right. They've proven that they can do photorealistic animals. I don't understand why they didn't just do that.
I had a moment where I was it's weird because it feels less inherently magical to have something that looks this fake be her animal friend. Mm-hmm. Surely you would want something that looked like a real animal, so kids could be look at that turtle. It's Snow White's friend, the turtle.
It's Snow White's friend, the turtle. But she doesn't even interact with the animals all that much, right? They disappear from the movie in a thing that happens a lot in this movie.
No, the animals are sort of constantly there, but they're not characters. They're just there to move stuff forward. And I think there's a good reason she doesn't interact with them. I think Snow White is on screen with a lot of fake stuff all the time, and you have to choose what's important.
Here's something that I think is true. I think they built a set for the dwarves' house. I think that's a physical set.
Well, because they do a dance number on it in the one good scene in the movie.
Right. I feel how do I say this? I feel I don't know if it's fully a set, but it's enough there that you could tell that they're interacting with stuff.
But do you know what isn't a set? Anything in the beginning of this movie. It's so obviously everything CGI'd in, and I don't know how we do that in 2025 and have it look this bad.
Yeah.
So we open, Josh Gad is telling us a story, and I'm a bit torn about this because I do like that there's a narration instead of having us read it.
No, I think that's a good choice. I think the twist at the end is terrible. It's not Josh Gad.
It sure sounds like Josh Gad, and I refuse to look it up, is what happened. So I just wrote down that it was Josh Gad.
They got somebody who sounded remarkably like Josh Gad.
Why? They could definitely get Josh Gad.
They could.
They didn't need to get a Josh Gad type. So tell us a story. It starts with Snow White's birth, which they have made it so that she's born in a snowstorm so that
she doesn't have to be white as snow.
White as snow, because, okay, yeah, that's a fair change. I'm all right with this change. I don't understand why the queen was traveling in a snowstorm while heavily pregnant, but whatever.
She could have just been at home, right? Like, it would have worked if she was just at home.
And Snow White multiple times talks about that story and how it's apparently, like, family lore, and it's like, but you were a baby, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you didn't survive. Your mom survived that shit.
Yeah, she uses it as like an example of how strong she used to be, and maybe she could be that strong again. And it's like, you were a baby, you were safe and warm. Like,
right.
And then we immediately go into a song number that I felt like it was cribbing on Moana.
Mm-hmm.
There are multiple songs in this that I feel like are directly taking from other modern Disney films.
Yes.
And this one feels like Moana to me. Again, I understand why they felt the need to put it in here. Because it's for me, right? Because every time I watch a movie with a princess in it, I'm like, why does this princess get to rule? Huh? Like, no gods, no masters. Why should I give a shit about this princess? And it's like, no. She would be a really good ruler. Look how nice and kind she is.
Yeah.
And look at her learning about her people and what's important. And like, okay, I do get it.
I would agree with you. I should say, I do think that that's why this is here. The problem is that she will then spend the rest of the movie proving to me why she's kind of an awful choice for a ruler.
Yeah, and it sucks because she makes like a lot of just nothing decisions, not even like bad decisions, just kind of.
Have you ever played Until Dawn?
I know Until Dawn. I've seen playthroughs.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about Until Dawn is like they always have an option for you to like not do anything, and I like picking those options because I think they're funny. I think it's funny for a character to just stand around and think for 3 minutes and then be like, I guess I won't say or do anything.
Everybody's getting ripped apart by Wendigos.
Right. But that happens, that literally happens in this movie like 8 times where Snow White just kind of stands there going, I should probably do something.
Yeah.
And then like the movie goes on without her.
It feels so odd how many times she gets like the call to action. And I just suspect it's because the call to action was like rewritten over and over and put in different parts of the movie where it's like, and this time, this is when she becomes a warrior princess. And then they're like, no, it's this time. Calling her a warrior princess makes it sound like this movie gets much cooler than it does. It
really doesn't. Well, so I think this to me. So, okay. I think recently, there have been a lot of remakes that are really, really like hyper focused on. Okay, I guess I should preface this with there are a lot of loser dumbasses on the internet who are like, oh my god, this movie's too feminist, and
get 'em.
like those guys are like, you know, like people who don't go outside and like have no friends. So that's not what I'm complaining about. But I do think that like there is a lot of people who are approaching these movies with the intent of trying to make them like more progressive, more like acceptable to like modern audiences, and haven't done the work of like internally interrogating their own prejudices about women, right? And so what they end up doing is they end up serving obeisance to the idea of feminism, to the idea that women can be like rulers, they can be powerful, they can be the bad boss bitch or whatever.
Right.
But then they will write a character who, instead of having nothing to do, chooses to do nothing. And they don't understand why that's worse. It's like, I feel like it's like a parasitic problem. Like, I've seen so many adaptations now make this, like, it's such a obvious thing to not do. And that's also worse, right? Like, Walt Disney, as a man who was, like, born in the 1800s or whatever, whenever he was fucking born, had, was a sexist guy. He could not imagine a world in which women were anything other than maids and housewives. That was the limit of his imagination, unless they became evil.
Well, and part of what's amazing to me about this movie is they've managed to take the only arguably feminist character. In that she's a woman who has control over something, and make her way less feminist. Way less interesting in her own right. Way more nothing. And I call her feminist, but she is not a feminist person. Every version of the evil queen is inherently, like, sort of like a narcissist patriarchist, essentially.
Right. But it's part of the argument, right, of feminism is that women can be bad guys too.
Right. Walt Disney made a character who, when you watch her, you're like, yeah, look at her go.
She's so cool.
She's so cool and evil. And they managed to take all of that out of the movie.
God, I really felt like this intro really went on for a long time.
It drags. We have this big dance and song. We learn that Snow White is kind. We learn that her mother fucking
dies.
Beefs it.
She eats it so hard, we're not going to hear about her till the end of the movie again.
We forget that she exists. We learn that her dad is so charmed by the beauty of this new woman that it seems, quote, magical, but while they say that, she's doing magic, and I'm like, that's not what beauty is?
Yeah, this is wild to me, that she just straight up does magic. She's just straight up like a wizard.
Yeah. It's not really commented on. Like, nobody talks about the fact that she's doing magic.
Right. You would think that if somebody showed up who could do magic and then they immediately got married to the single king, you'd be like, well, probably she used magic to do it.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, like, in the original, the dwarves are like, oh, the queen's a witch. So everybody knows she's a witch. Nobody called her a witch in this one. And she's a fucking witch.
She is. She does magic.
I don't know why we're not bringing it up. Or a wizard. Girls can be wizards, J.K. fucking Rowling.
Right, like, but you gotta call her something. Sorceress?
I would love to call her a sorceress. Let's get that word used more. But, like, she just does magic casually. Not very cool magic, if I'm being honest. She does essentially close-up magic.
Yeah, I was gonna say something that you would see on Penn and Teller, right? Like,
right. So I don't know why this is the magic they gave her because in defining her magic as something that she basically has to do with her hands,
yeah,
they have made her very weak in the language of the movie. So the whole time I was like, why doesn't Snow White convince the guards to just kill her? And then she doesn't do that until, like, fully the last scene and drags it out for 1,000,000 goddamn years.
Oh, man. I actually kind of loved how this scene was shot. It was the most, like, oh, the audience, do you get it? You little babies, do you get what's happening here? And it's like, yeah, I get it. Bruh, like, please stop. It's so long. And but we'll get to it. So it's clear that, like, her dad was just, like, so horned up. This, like, I mean, and, you know, like, I get it. This, like, your wife's dead. You're raising this child on your own. World is scary. You know, you can't do your big musical numbers anymore because you know, everyone practiced with the wife being there. Too sad. So, and then this hot woman shows up and she's like, I could be your queen. It's like, hell yeah, this is great.
Yeah, and we see that this in the sequence we see the mirror for the first time, and I don't want to talk about the mirror too much because the mirror just looks lame.
Yeah, it looks worse than the mirror at at the ride.
Yeah, and I don't know why they didn't just do the same mirror. from the other movie. But it looks like what they did is they like, I forget what you call it. They like motion captured somebody's actual face and just turned it into the mirror. And it looks worse like that.
It looks like fucking Shrek. Like, it looks like the mirror from fucking Shrek. Like,
it does look like the mirror from Shrek. Like, less spooky. I need a more spooky mirror. So, the mirror looks bad. Whatever. Snow White gets older. The time passes. And the little girl is replaced with,
a teen.
With Rachel. What's her name?
No. We get a segment where she's a teen for a bit.
We do get a segment where she's a teen for like a sec.
What are we doing here? Like, I fully expected another 3 minutes of song, but thank God, very quickly she becomes Rachel Ziegler.
And she sings this song that's supposed to be an I Want song. I can tell.
Yes, this is supposed to be her being like, it's less of an I Want song and more of a what do I want song.
Yeah, it's called, I think, Waiting on a Wish. And I wouldn't dislike it so much, except that it's obviously supposed to be like part of your world. This should be the song that makes me give a shit about Snow White and what she wants. And I don't know what she wants by the end of it. And it's also, I mean, to your point, not a very good song. So she sings a song and she's doing all of her maid shit.
She is mopping and sweeping like the same room in the castle. I have to assume from the language of cinema. They could
only afford one room. This is the cheapest looking Disney movie I've ever seen that also obviously cost like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the most expensive movies they ever made. But I think
I don't get it.
we haven't talked about this, but like at the beginning of this segment, when they're all like when Good Things Grow starts, right?
Right.
Which is the name of the intro song. The movie is like the CGI in the movie is so oppressive that like all of the god rays and stuff that they have in it makes the whole kingdom look dusty. And also, and like we live in the desert. We know what like a dusty day looks like, and it looks like they're just having a really dusty day. But also, all of the serfs, all of the peasants and serfs are wearing like this colorful, vibrant clothing to let you know that the times are good.
Right.
Snow is wearing like a yellow dress, but like the saturation in the movie is such that it all just kind of looks like it's got like a Fallout 3 gray filter on top of it.
Very muted, yeah.
So we're gonna get to a point where like when she enters into the dark forest, because they're in like a dark scene, the colors pop again. Because CGI works better in those kinds of like environments. You don't have to like mess with the color grading as much. But man, the entire beginning of this movie looks like shit.
Then she meets her love interest, Jonathan.
Jonathan, not a prince.
I mean, they didn't want to give him a cool name? Like, what's that about?
They could have called him Robin.
Anyway, we'll get into this a bit later, but this is Flynn Rider.
Yeah. Yes, they dress him the same. They dress him exactly the same.
They dress him exactly the same, and there is a bit halfway through where I was like, are they trying to speedrun the plot of Tangled? And they're 1,000% trying to speedrun the plot of Tangled. So she meets this guy, he's literally stealing potatoes, and she's like, you can't steal potatoes, and he's like, turns out I can.
Lady, unless you stop me, it's very easy, actually.
These are like the cheapest food in the world. I'm taking fucking potatoes. He steals a bunch of potatoes from the queen's cellars because apparently the queen is just like taking all the food from the peasants. One of the issues that this movie has is it makes the queen really evil in really measurable ways, but I don't understand why she would do this because all she cares about is being powerful and hot.
Correct. And she can do that without starving people to death.
Right. Taking the food from her own people does not make her more powerful or more hot. So, like, what are we doing? It just feels weird. Because, yeah, she's feasting all the time, but she doesn't care about feasting all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's annoying. So anyway, he steals the food. Snow White doesn't tell anybody. But once she learns now that she's a fucking grown-ass adult, that people are starving, she decides to go petition the queen about it. Now, two things. One, Snow White is the rightful ruler, and we will learn later that absolutely, literally everyone would be cool with her ruling instead of the queen. So I don't know why she has the wherewithal to go be like, I'll talk to the queen, I can convince her. Not the wherewithal to be like, actually, why is she even in charge? She goes to see the queen. She's like, I want to make the peasants apple pies just to give them something nice. And the queen is like, that's literally dumb.
Why the fuck would you do that?
And points to her. She's right. So it's like, no, I just want something to give them hope. And the queen's like, that won't give them hope because they don't need pies. And I get what both of them are saying. It's a weird moment where they both have a pretty good point.
Yeah, I think at one point the queen is like the queen makes her point very, very clear with a really funny visual metaphor.
She has this really, really heavy-handed metaphor that, again, I don't hate as like an inclusion in part of this story, where she basically says Snow White is a rose and beautiful but easily destroyed, and she is a diamond. So gorgeous, so amazing, so strong.
Flawless. Strong.
Flawless. In a better movie, this metaphor might have worked.
I don't hate the metaphor. I like that when she does it, it feels practiced, like she's used this metaphor a million times.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, but to go back to Tangled for half a second,
Correct.
If it felt like they had talked a million times, like the when Rapunzel asks to be out of the tower, Mother Gothel's like, you know why you don't go out of the tower? And then they do this whole, I love you more, I love you most, and it feels like this is how they end every argument.
Right.
But it kind of feels like Snow White and the Evil Queen have not talked for the past 8 years or however long it's been. Grimhilda is her name. I don't think they say it. Which is a shame.
Really? Did they give her a name?
No.
Oh yeah,
we found that out in the last one.
Yeah. Grimhilda. Great name.
It's a good name. They should have kept it. So they are, Snow White's losing this argument 1,000% because she's folding under it. And then the guards drag in this thief.
No, the huntsman drags in this thief.
Okay. Huntsman drags in the thief. He's like, this guy's been stealing from us. He's still got all the potatoes in his shirt.
I thought this was funny.
It's a good... Every time this movie does something that I'm like, okay, it's like, yeah, but if this movie had more comedic beats, I'd like the movie more.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like,
they just did this shit more often.
Yeah, they should have let these actors be charming.
Yes. It's also so funny that when he was caught red-handed stealing potatoes and dragged before the queen, he's like, that's a lie.
I would never do such a thing.
But then he does something crazier, which she's like, you're one of the bandits who claims to serve the king. And he says, no, I'm the lead bandit. Why would you say that?
He then goes on to like trump that stupid decision when she's like, burn down his house. And he's like, this joke's on you. I don't have a house. And she's like, all right, fine. Then lock him in the fucking dungeon. Kill him.
Okay, but here's the thing. That's fucking funny. Burn down his house. Ha ha ha. I don't have a house. Is like, that does feel like something that you would say there, even though it's really dumb. I enjoy that, or the concept of that.
Following it up, right? It's the follow up of like, I'm the captain and I don't have a house. It's like, all right,
I don't have a house. Like, great.
It's like, are you going to tell me your social security number next? What's going on here?
So the queen's like, whatever, just throw him in the dungeon. His screams will yada yada yada. And Snow White's like, no, you can't do that. It's unjust. And she's like, oh, okay, unjust. Well, then since, yeah,
that's not what she says. She says it's not fair.
It's not. She does say fair because fairest.
And and then the movie makes like a whole thing about this moment, but then we don't do anything about it ever again.
Well, arguably, it's like the point of her stupid song that I hate. Not only is Gal Gadot not a good singer, but the evil queen, actually straight up should not have a song. And if she does get a song, she shouldn't dance during it, because it ruins the evil queen.
it gives her, you don't want your evil queen to have grease energy.
She felt like one of the characters from Heathers. It's like, this isn't it, guys.
Pull. Yeah, this isn't the way.
So it's like, that's not fair. And she's like, okay, well, be fair. He stole from me, so I'll steal from him. Take his clothes, tie him to the gate. We're gonna visit this in a second. Snow White's like, he'll freeze to death. He fucking won't. It appears to be spring.
They're trying to make us think that it's like winter or fall or something, but
everything's spring. It's always sunny. It's always beautiful. The one time we see a snowflake, I have to assume it's metaphorical. I can't any
it's
other.
Not real. That she's just in the middle of all of this, just reaches out to the sky and goes, "Oh my god, I can see the light."
He is tied to the front gate, which I thought meant not with his feet on the ground. Tied with literally one rope.
He could have untied himself.
He could have, if he had 15 minutes, he could have gotten himself out of there.
They didn't even tie a knot. They just kind of wrapped it around a couple times.
I actually think this is when Snow Gets Her I Want song. I think I put it in the wrong place. And it's like such a weird moment for her to be like, oh, what do I want? And it's like, I know what you want. This guy's getting murdered and you don't want him to. Like, what are we talking about?
You want to be kind. You want to be fair. You want to be just. You want to be a good ruler.
Very straightforward. Actually, you're reminding me a lot about the locket that she gets.
Oh, fuck me. The K Jewelers.
The K Jewelers.
Like $5 locket.
I'm astounded by the costuming choices in this movie. Everything looks like cosplay. This locket is not something that would have existed in this fashion in any sort of magical medieval time.
It's bananas how bad the locket looks. It's like a fucking charm necklace.
Yeah.
But also, like, the costuming in this movie looks like, with the exception of the evil queen, who's got a lot going on, a lot of choices were made. But, like, for everyone else, like, and especially Snow White, their costuming looks like you went to the Disney store and bought it for your kid.
Snow White does look like that. I think the main reason is for some reason they didn't give her a corset for her dress to make it look more real. Instead, they just have strings. And it just looks, it looks very fake, but like...
The coloring on it is so, like, you can see the polyester a little bit. It's it's like so vibrant. It's like, it's unreal, especially compared to all of the, like, super realistic poor people clothes that we see later in the movie.
But I was expecting that. The one that really threw me is the bandits who appear to be wearing stuff they got from Hot Topic.
Oh, yeah. They're
just like
your next favorite punk band.
Modern clothes. Like 90s clothes, kind of, right?
Like, fucking Jonathan is running around wearing, like, flannel with a sweater over it.
Like a flannel hoodie.
Like a gray sweat. Like, like, what the fuck is this? Like...
It's so weird.
I don't understand why he couldn't just dress like the prince, because they gave him these pants that look like shit, but they're period accurate, right? But they look terrible because they're like tight. But they have this like extra crotch room, like a foot of extra crotch room at the bottom. And it's just like, what is this costuming? Like, what did it feels like you guys just kind of like went into a Dillard's and just grabbed a bunch of garbage and just threw it on these guys.
So Snow White decides to free this guy, and it's like so easy. One, he's not naked. I thought he was gonna be naked.
Dude, he should have been like fully nude.
Well, or like stripped down to just his pants or something, because like he's supposed to freeze to death out here on this mild spring day.
Right.
Fully clothed.
Oh man, it's like gonna be 70 out there. What am I gonna do?
Barely wrapped around the gate. So she unties him. It takes 2 seconds. Nobody stops her. The queen, it turns out, watched it. And I was like, if you watched it, why didn't you stop it? And then she immediately storms into her rooms and is like, mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Like, she knows that this made Snow White hot. And this is my big issue with the queen in this. is they've added a lot of complexity to the story, but haven't added much complexity to the characters.
No.
So she becomes much, much more of a shallow character because all she cares about is this fairest of them all nonsense. But what Snow White is doing is like, she's trying to start a rebellion. and
it's a powerful word for what she's doing.
But it's what the movie is saying she's doing, right?
Yeah, on the back of the DVD.
She essentially is committing treason because she's going against the Queen, theoretically.
Well, she's correcting treason, I guess.
Now, see, this depends on which army you work for, but but yes, but this could be seen as an act of war. It's a direct attack on her power, but she doesn't care about that. She's just like, "Am I the fairest of them all?" And the mirror's like, "No, that's Snow White." And it's so this is the thing that really gets her, and it's like, why? You know what I really wanted, and I think I could have respected this movie if it did this.
Yeah.
I wanted at the end when Snow White was like, I want my kingdom back, for the evil queen to be like, I don't care about that. Because, like, it's the only thing that makes sense. She can't care about it. Because obviously there's one thing she cares about, and it's that Snow White's hotter than her. And if they had, like, played it up, frankly, if they had made sure the evil queen was obviously anti-feminist, it would have been a much stronger movie.
It's wild because, like, there's, like, a real life history you could pull if you really need, like, if you want to base this in something, like, real and tangible, but still have it be about, like, beauty and lies and deception. And that's, like, the ascension of Elizabeth I, right?
Right.
Like, and the fact that, like, she was, like, considered illegitimate, but everyone thought she was so beautiful. And, like, Anne Boleyn had, like, I don't know if it was Anne Boleyn, but it was somebody was like had a
there
clear,
are too many of them. It turns out there are too many wives to keep track of.
Yeah. But one of them was like, well, we should try to kill her, but then she died before that could happen. And then, like, when Elizabeth finally got old enough to ascend to the throne, like, she had this whole fight with her cousin, and her argument was like, well, I'm prettier than her, so I get to be queen. But, like, also Elizabeth's whole thing was that she had this, like, incredibly pale white skin. And red hair. So, like, you know, like, if you want to pull from something historical, right? Like, there's history out there that you could pull on to, like, help make this feel more tangible, right? Because you're trying to take a fairy tale, which has very little meat on the bones by design, right? Because the whole point of the original fairy tale is like, hey, you know, like beauty is temporary, but, like, kindness is forever, whatever the fuck. And don't go into the forest because you'll die.
Don't go in the forest because you'll die. Except for there's a lot of nice guys in the forest, actually.
But like, if you want to try to make it this more complicated thing, you need to pull from a more complicated source.
I think that's fair. So the queen does what the queen does, which is calls the huntsman, tells him to cut out Snow's heart, and gives him a box. And genuinely, I don't understand why this box looks like this.
It's Hobby Lobby craft. Like,
I am pulling at the like dumbest threads now, but I saw this box and I was like, what the fuck is up with this box?
So it has the clasp, right? The, like, knife stabbing the heart clasp.
It's the box in the cartoon wrong color.
Yeah, but it's like again, why this is the thing that they do constantly is they just do, like, something from the original cartoon one for one, but then they, like, do it wrong, and it's like, why even bother? Like,
then why do it?
Yeah, you clearly don't give a shit about the original cartoon, and that's fine. Then don't give a shit about it. Like, who is this for? There's nobody alive who watched Snow White when they were a kid.
The only difference between this and the original movie, this scene in the original movie, is that explicitly now they're picking apples, because they've decided to give Snow White kind of an apple pie backstory, which isn't terrible. I bet you that was one of the first things they thought of. And, well, and it was mostly written out up to this point. But
it's because at the end of the original movie, she's baking an apple pie for the dwarves when they get back.
But she's not doing it this time, so it feels weird to even have done it. She gives the huntsman an apple, and this simple act of kindness makes him do some of the worst acting I've seen out of this man, who's been doing okay.
His standing and yelling at her while she's running away was genuinely so funny. It felt so like I this felt like a first take.
It like does. And what it made me think of, like, the only way it made sense to me is if he was literally enchanted. And I was like, I think I've seen versions of the Snow White story where she does just enchant people. And it would be interesting if he was fighting an enchantment here. Plus, that would give me something to like, why doesn't Snow White just take the throne when everybody wants her to have it?
Clearly everybody wants her to have it. At one point, while he's yelling at her, he's like, before I change my mind. And it's like, what? That's an option for you?
Yeah, I mean...
real wishy-washy treason that you're committing here, man.
Yeah, like, seriously, what the fuck? He sends her away. She runs into the forest and points. This is the first part of the movie I liked. These trees are way more evil than in the original. I was very excited because I thought that this meant this was going to be an actually, like, magically evil forest.
Yeah.
I was very psyched. It's not.
It's not. It's still all, like, in her head, I guess.
But it's so much less obviously in her head in this scene that I did think everything was attacking her.
No, for sure. They didn't do as much work to just make it look like her mind was making monsters. But the fact that at the end of it all, we just like never talk about it again. It's like, oh, that was crazy. I'm going to touch this felt deer now. This
scene convinced me 1,000% that the reason the bandits are in this forest is because it will attack intruders.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yes, this is why the bandits are in here. We're going to get some cool trees attacking the evil queen's forces scenes.
Yep.
We don't.
Nope.
In fact, there's a fight scene in this forest that tracks 0%. Like,
it feels like it took place in like somebody's backyard.
The fight is stupid, and we know that the bad guys have arrows that they're just not using.
So,
yeah, it's weird. Anyway, yeah, she finds
she's accosted by these CGI animals, and man, they all look like none of them look like real animals. We've talked about this a little bit. They all just kind of look like stuffed animals that are moving.
If they looked like stuffed animals that were moving, Andy, I would have liked it a lot better. Like, they don't even have that level of realism.
They don't have that charm. They don't have the charm of that live action Christopher Robin movie. Yeah, and they just look like they're from a different, and I guess what it is they look like they're in a different film. But I will say this. She does pet that fucking deer, which means that at some point, somebody wearing a CGI fucking morph suit had to put their head under her hand so that she could pet them. And I love that. I love it when people touch the CGI monsters.
I mean, sure, it was definitely better in Detective Pikachu when he gets licked by the Lickitung, though.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing, right? Is the more the people in your film like touch, caress, pet, snuggle up to.
The scene that we're about to walk into when she goes into the house, all the animals are like flying around her, and her reaction is very much like, I don't know where they're supposed to be. Like, I'm trying to track them with my eyes, but I don't know where they're going to draw them. Like,
the thing to do here, right? So there are two ways to solve this problem. One is the Peter Jackson way, which is just look around and like you're in awe, and we'll just animate things in your eye line, right? The second way is the Peter Jackson way 2.0, which is we are going to set up lights around you on like sticks that'll turn on, and you'll know to look at that light, and then we can use that to like track your eye line.
So you're saying you wanted Peter Jackson to direct this movie?
I don't, but like, if you're gonna do, here's the thing: is like the Hobbit.
If he did, it would have only been as bad as the Hobbit,
right? And the Hobbit. Well, I mean, the Hobbit, The Unexpected Journey, is like, it's watchable, right? Like, it's those movies. I might sit down and watch those again, just because I've never seen the third one.
Sorry,
and I'm listening to Shelved by Genre, and they went through all of The Hobbit, and I'm like, well, I've never seen all of these movies, and I'm kind of curious now. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll go through those movies. I don't know.
Maybe it had a really underwhelming final fight scene. I
liked the first movie. I watched it in theaters, and I rather enjoyed Unexpected Journey. I thought it was fine. Like, it would have at least looked good. I guess that's the thing. Peter Jackson has like a visual aesthetic that I don't agree with all the time, but at least it's there. At least it's something you can sink your teeth into. Like, it's not even that I hate how this movie looks. It's just that this movie looks so dull and ugly all the time. And then you get hit with this CGI monstrosity that is these seven dwarves.
So she goes to sleep. She does not clean the house, which
she walks into this house and just falls asleep.
Which I actually like a lot more, because I thought it was crazy. No, really. When Snow White in the original cleans the house and then like, oh, this will make them wanna let me stay, and then falls to sleep across 3 beds, that's wild. But when this version of Snow White, she's like, had a big day, she's fucking tired, and she just passes out, I'm like, I do get that though. Like, it's the first safe place she's landed in, and she just immediately passes out. It's not a safe place, though.
It's somebody else's fucking house.
She was led here by magical deer, Andy.
As far as she knows, they're normal deer. But, like, we established... I guess we don't really establish in this movie that she can talk to animals, but I think she's psychic.
She talks to animals. The animals seem to understand her, but they don't have... She doesn't have an animal sidekick, right?
No.
So we don't have anybody like the mice in Cinderella, or like Pascal from Tangled, who's like, oh, this
animal and
have
her
essentially
share
conversations.
Yeah, they share a bond, that like the bond between a wizard and his horse. Like, they can speak to each other on an emotional level.
Very early on, she talks to a squirrel about how she needs to talk to the queen, and the squirrel looks really incredulous, but there's nothing, I think, in that scene that suggests that she's picking up that the squirrel is incredulous.
Right. Because the squirrel is like, this is a bad fucking idea, and she's like, I guess I'm gonna go do that. And it's like, did you not listen to the squirrel's opinion at all?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought this was a brain trust.
Right. So my assumption is she's psychic, but she's like, it's like a one-way psychicness where animals can understand her, but the reverse just isn't true.
I felt like they wanted to do and found that they couldn't do the scene in Shrek 3, a bad Shrek movie, where Snow White commands the animals to assault somebody.
They should have done that, though.
But, like, they should have, right?
During the fight scene, I was like, oh, she's gonna get these deer to fucking wreck these dudes. What are they gonna do?
And that would have been interesting. Again, I would have liked anything in that fight scene that felt like the forest was attacking the queen. Because
the forest,
hey,
nature.
if we got a little bit of fucking Princess what's that? Princess Mononoke? If we got some Princess Mononoke in here, I'd be like, hell yeah.
That would have been so sick.
So then, let me read my next note real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Why do they look like that?
Dude, I yelled. It was 2 a.m, and I was like, oh! They look awful. They look disgusting. They look
so upsetting.
They look like fucking, Polar Express. Like, just that uncanny Robert Zemeckis, just slimy, disgusting look.
So they do have an uncanniness, but they're also so inhuman that it's like their heads are so big compared to their bodies. Like, their heads take up the entire same size as their bodies.
Yeah. They have a one-to-one.
Yeah. Do you know what I thought they looked like? I thought if you were to open up ChatGPT, which is something I've never done because fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
and typed in, generate a picture of what the 7 dwarves would look like in real life, it would give you this.
Yeah, it's like one of those Pokemon realism challenges that artists do.
And it's so gross, and obviously they shouldn't have done this.
Well, do you remember, like, early on in the development of Detective Pikachu, they released some, like, screenshots of, like, some of the Pokemon designs they were going with, and people were like, oh, fuck no. Like, this isn't gonna fly. And they wisely were like, okay, we gotta go back to the drawing board. Sonic released a whole fucking trailer. Whole trailer.
I genuinely think they were done with making that movie. Like, I think they were done.
No,
and
the
response was like, we need to change this. We need to change this. Yeah. What Pokemon did, and I will always find it astounding and impressive, because that is, for some reason, a movie that felt like people were doing something on.
Yeah. There was a lot of passion in this movie.
The Pokemon in Pokemon are ugly on purpose, and I find that fascinating. Like, they look freaky and weird in a way that's like almost like a pug is. Like,
no, but they
look, it's such a weird little freak.
They have like a Tamagotchi almost like vibe. But I do think it's one of those things where it's like they leaned into the drift on this because they were like, we want them to look like monsters. They are monsters, right? And we want them to have this like this otherworldliness, but also a tangibility, right? And like I still think about that scene where they're walking over the backs of the what are they called? Tortanks or whatever? Torterras, thank you. And like it's literally just like shifting the earth beneath them.
Yeah,
it's like
it's amazing.
It's so right. But like this feels like part of the reason why they kept what the dwarves looked like so secret for so long is they were like, we know people are going to hate this.
It is so awful. The only one that has any amount of like, I'm not even sure what the word is. The only one that isn't horribly ugly is Dopey, and it's clearly because they worked really hard because they're gonna make Dopey the emotional anchor in this movie for some reason.
Dopey is our lodestone.
It's fucking wild. So these dwarves look so terrible, and I need to apologize. I need to issue an apology. In fact, I might not, because it's something that I said in the last one where I said something like, I wish I knew more about the dwarves, and then I said, but I'm not. I think I might have said I'm not gonna like how they do it in the next movie, and it turns out I was full ass right, because the dwarves are like, in their song, Hi Ho, a good song because it's simple and uncomplicated. They have this whole thing where they introduce each of them individually, and then they sing, and we're magic and can pull our magic out of the ground. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why is this here?
Yeah. I thought when they were like, we do magic, I was like, oh, we're going to have like a wizard fight. They're going to use their gem magics.
The fascinating thing is, we are told they're magic. We're told that they're like magical dwarves, not humans. They explicitly call Snow White a human. Mm-hmm. So their magic in this, they don't do fuck all. They don't even do the thing I was sure they were gonna do, which is break into the castle with their pickaxes and release a prisoner.
Right.
I was 1,000% that they were gonna do that. So they're so ugly, they don't get to do anything in the movie. It is so strange. They go home.
Well, okay, I need to talk about this real quick. So they turn Hi Ho, which is just a song about them working and then about them going home, right? Into like, we are going to introduce every single one of these dwarves and their characteristics and their aesthetics and then say their name out loud to you. And I gotta tell you, man.
Despite the fact that they will just introduce themselves to Snow White later. Like,
yeah,
we
right.
didn't need it.
But also, it didn't work. I got more confused because they look like such fucking disgusting little CGI things that I couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah.
Like, Doc has glasses, Dopey doesn't have a beard, right? But the rest of them, like, blend together. And so it was one of those things where I was like, this not only is this a waste of my fucking time, because they're literally named after their one characteristic. It's not that hard. But also, it doesn't work as like a means of introduction because it made me more confused about who was who. And then also, okay, there are in this movie 2 actors with dwarfism who were hired.
Okay, we want to talk about this now. Okay, we can talk about this now.
We have to, right?
This isn't a bad time for it, yeah.
They made such a big hubbub. Disney made such a big fucking hubbub about how we're doing everything we can to like be inclusive and to not reinforce stereotypes and stuff, right? Like Peter Dinklage came out against the movie. He was like, I just don't think this movie needs to be remade, which is fair.
I mean, that's fair. It is. I mean, he's the one, I feel like, big voice in Hollywood. But if you make them magical dwarves, I don't see what the issue is. And again, I'm not somebody who obviously knows a lot about this. So maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like they overcorrected way too far.
Well, that's the thing is the thing to me is that I think it's wild. It's crazy that they didn't just hire dwarf actors.
Why didn't they just have these people be played by humans? Yes, there is a character, who I'm sure has dwarfism.
Yeah.
His, I forget what his name is. His thing is that he's the crossbow master, and he gets essentially like the last scene is him triumphant.
He saves the day. He saves the fucking day.
And I looked at him and I was like, the first time I meet him, I was like, in a rational remake of Snow White, he would play one of the dwarfs.
Right.
And then when he saves the day, I'm like, oh, he was supposed to be one of the dwarfs. Like,
right.
Obviously, this was originally supposed to be one of the dwarfs, because what are the dwarfs doing in this scene? Fully nothing.
Jack shit. They're posing for the fucking camera.
And why?
Right. So so obviously that actor, I'm trying to find their name because I do want to like call them out because hold on. They don't have casting lists on Wikipedia anymore. I have to go to IMDb.
You have to go to IMDb. Yeah.
I cannot believe I have to go to IMDb to find out the name of the Master of the Crossbow.
It could be anything. I just remember Master of the Crossbow.
He says his name afterwards, right? But like Quig, Master of the Crossbow. George.
I wonder why I forgot the name Quig.
George, I think his name is George Appleby. Yeah, he's George Appleby. He's great, honestly. He has a dialogue with Snow White at some point that I genuinely think he does a really good job with. The only other actor, this is so funny to me. The only other actor in this movie who is like an actor, who's a named actor with speaking lines is the actor who did the voice capture for and face capture for Grumpy.
Sorry, are you telling me that Grumpy is played by a dwarf actor and they replaced him with what fucking Grumpy looks like?
Yes, but not only that, the actor specifically, Great. His name is Martin Kleba, who plays the pirate with dwarfism in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, he's great.
He also plays one of the 7 dwarves in Mirror Mirror. A movie in which they hired 7 people with dwarfism to play dwarves. So, like, that's crazy.
He was also on the television film Snow White, Fairest of Them All. Just so you know.
Seriously? Damn. This guy's working.
And in what I have to assume is a very similar role in a movie called All's Fair in Love, a romantic comedy set at a Ren fair.
Oh man, that's great. You know what? Like, props to Martin Kleba, who refuses to let a Snow White project go by without getting his hands in it. Like, absolutely not.
That's fucking amazing, man. But it would have been 1,000% better if he just played Grumpy. He's
right,
like
because he's a good actor.
He's a good actor, and frankly, Grumpy needed something to do. Wouldn't it be great if he was just played by a good actor?
It's crazy. It's crazy to me that Disney stirred the fucking pot on this so much, and then like didn't do anything about it. They just didn't do anything about it, and that's crazy to me. And also, I genuinely thought like, oh, maybe they're gonna do the Peter Jackson thing where they're gonna use like forced perspective and CGI to like just make all of the other actors
make a good fucking movie.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And but this choice, it looks so bad. I got jump scared when I went to IMDb because one of them showed up.
It is truly awful. It's so awful, Andy, that I think I've seen pictures of the dwarves before, and my brain rejected them. Like when I saw it, I was shocked. But I'm sure I'd seen them before. Like, I'm sure I've seen it, floating around on social media, oh, look at what the dwarves look like in the new Snow White movie. But when I saw it, I was like, ooh, it's repulsive. They're gross.
I'm trying to find, they have so many, I gotta tell you, man, so many of the production photos for Snow White are just of Rachel Ziegler and Gal Gadot doing fashion shoots. Which that's a whole can of worms that we can't even get into because it's such a wild thing to do. Okay, here it is. I found a screenshot of them. God, they look awful. They look horrible. And in spite of all of the facial mocapping that they did, except for Dopey, they all look the same.
Right, and they don't look like humans.
No,
it's gross. It's all bad.
Okay.
They meet Snow. They do the whole, everybody's scared of her thing. Then they realize she's a human. And they're like, okay, well, Grumpy's very reasonable in this movie with his grumpiness. And that's fine. But I also needed him to be the most important dwarf because he was the most important dwarf in the original movie. And I kind of irritated that they took that away from him.
And gave it to Dopey.
Yeah, they gave it to Dopey. They sure did. And they couldn't just have it be now they're both important. You're only allowed to have one important dwarf.
Well, god damn it, dude. There's 7 of these motherfuckers walking around on screen. What are we supposed to do?
To add a bunch of other characters. Grumpy's well, the only people who live in this woods are bandits, so you are in trouble with the law, so you gotta go. And Snow can't argue that because she's 1,000% in trouble with the law.
She's the most she's more in trouble with the law than these bandits are. Tell you what,
absolutely. The queen does not give a shit about these bandits, so she's ready to go. And Doc or Happy or somebody is like, oh, but at least tell us her name. She's like, it's Snow White, and they're like, fuck, that's the princess.
Ah,
and they stop her from leaving. And Grumpy's like, it doesn't matter. She's like, yeah, the queen's gonna try to kill me. Girl's like, cool, I don't want to deal with that. Fair. But they decide she can stay the night. So then we cut to the queen. I have a lot of questions. Question number 1. Why didn't she check the box before she talked to the mirror?
It's so funny.
Genuinely, in a funny movie, this scene's great.
It's such a stupid thing. Here's the thing it's such a stupid thing to do. Especially if you're not gonna book it.
My guy should be gone.
He showed up to work. Dude, it would be like if I took a shit on my boss's desk, left a note saying, thanks for the memories, signed my Christian name on it, and then showed up to work.
Right. He sends Snow away, and he isn't I should just go with her.
In the original movie, you assume that the huntsman's fucking gone. Because she's like, oh, that motherfucker betrayed me, and then just starts doing evil shit.
Right. But also, in the original movie, the huntsman put a pig's heart in there, which he had to have assumed would at least keep her occupied for a little while. And in this movie, it's the same scene. She asks the mirror, who's the fairest of them all? And the mirror's like, Snow White, she's in the forest. And so she checks the box, and it's an apple.
So funny.
And like,
it makes her stupider.
She's so dumb. She's so dumb. And then he's like, oh, if you have any mercy in your heart, extend it to her. And then she starts a song and dance number.
Yo, this is so, dude, this is so bad. It's so cringe. It's so like, it made me like curl up a little bit because it's, okay.
Here's the thing. So before we even get into the problems with this, I don't think a very good song with a very good singer and dancer would have saved it. Because I just don't think the evil queen can have a song and dance number and still be the evil queen.
Correct. She's above that stuff, right? This is, sorry, in musicals, right? Especially in like these kinds of like ostentatious musicals, right? Where the music is a little bit, I want to be kind, but it's a little bit like off the wall crazy, right? You have to have a character who's like above it all, who like, I don't stoop, I do not express myself in the language of music because I have no joy in my heart, right? That's your villain. That, or at the very least, that's somebody who like all the other characters have to acknowledge as like being other in a way that is like off-putting. You could use it for comedic effect, like in what was that musical with all the cavemen that the Team Star Kid did?
I do not know the name of it.
But yeah, they one of the one of them like just doesn't participate, and that's funny. But like that's the language of musicals, right? Is like, if you're gonna have it, you need to have a character who's like above it all because it adds a bit to their seriousness and to their provenance.
I think the evil queen has to be above it all. I don't think there's a way to give her, especially a dance number that works. But you might be able to give her a song if it was like Rapunzel's mom in
Tangled.
Not Entangled. Not Entangled. The witch in Into the Woods.
Oh yeah.
Her songs are creepy. Like, they're like weird and upsetting. I don't even like Into the Woods, but it feels like those songs kind of go against the grain of the other songs in Into the Woods. And if she had a song that was creepy, that was like off-putting and wrong, I think it might have worked. But also, they didn't even need to give her a song.
Could you imagine if they got Bernadette Peters to play the evil queen in this? Dude, she would have killed it. She would have been so good. What an amazing singer. What an amazing performer. What an amazing actor. And also somebody who is like, you know, Bernadette Peters is, I think, like in her 70s now. And like, you know, she was like a sex symbol, like back in the day. Like, I really think that like, we could have said something right with that casting choice. Meryl Streep also, I believe, like played the witch in the movie, which I've heard really negative things about. But like, again,
never seen it.
It's just one of those things where like you have to. This is a character that works because they are like wicked, and that means that they have an amount of like intelligence and an amount of obfuscation, right?
Right.
Things we call things wicked. I don't want to get like too fucking like, I don't know, like sophistics about this, but like things are wicked and evil because they make themselves incapable of being understood, right? The evil queen in Snow White cares about her beauty, but other than that, it's kind of hard to like gauge.
It's hard to get a read on her. We never know who she is as a person. And except that she fucking hates Snow White.
Right, but it feels like that's a choice that she's making, right?
Right.
Whereas in this film, it feels like she's just really vain and stupid.
Which isn't great. And like, It's also the fact that she gets a dance number. Like,
yeah, and then she starts dancing, strutting her stuff.
she, like, ends it with essentially, like, evil jazz hands. It's not good. I keep thinking about, like, other villains in Disney movies who get songs, and many of them don't dance. I'm thinking of, like, Scar. Scar kind of walks his whole song, and everybody else is dancing.
They're
Ursula.
they're doing a march.
Ursula is like making a potion. And hey, if you wanted to do a song where the evil queen's making a potion,
sick.
Yeah, maybe.
That's awesome.
Like, she doesn't even get to fucking make a potion in this movie. She also
it's true. But also Ursula is like specifically trying to like win over Ariel, right?
Yes.
And so the bombast of her performance is part of that manipulation.
She's very big.
She's overwhelming Ariel with her opinion. It's awesome. It's great. It works. And also, again, Ursula is a different character.
There is no reason for the evil queen to sing this song, and there's absolutely no reason to character assassinate her with a dance number.
Well, and not only that, but the song itself is this
pretty sure
like,
it's called like Fairest of Them All or something.
All Is Fair, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like a boss bitch ballad, you know? Like, It's like trying to be like this like Nicki Minaj style, like, I'm bad and I know it, and that's why everyone respects me. And it just doesn't work because like, again, it's character assassination. This is not what this character is. In the original, if you're gonna make them this again, why make a fucking why call it a remake, right?
Why have it be a remake? Why isn't it like much less hooked on the original? Like, why isn't it called fucking sorry. I was gonna be like, why don't I pull out a random word from the original Snow White, and it'll be called that, and the one I thought of was Seven, and I was like, that's a movie.
Yeah.
That's Seven is not correct.
Maybe like the lucky number 7.
Well,
maybe Ocean 7?
Ocean 7? Maybe they called it Ocean 7? I mean, they could have called it Apple. Like, I don't care what they call it, as long as it's clear that Disney is doing another Snow White thing. It's not a straight remake. The Queen is kind of a boss bitch in this one. Like, fine. I don't care.
Sure.
but instead they're like, no, this is a reimagining of our first ever film. Of
one of the only films that Walt Disney had his paws all over.
His grubby little paws. And then and it's gross and bad, and like every decision is ridiculous. And this, I feel like this song really highlights how rough the whole movie is. I think if you wanted to get a good opinion on this movie, you could watch this and think like, oh no, it's all like this? And you'd be right.
Yeah.
Pivoting, though, back to Snow, all the dwarves fight at breakfast. Just kind of seems like what they do. And the fight breaks up when they start laughing at Dopey for, like, no reason. And so again, this is what's going to establish Dopey as the emotional anchor to this movie, which is an odd choice. I know why this happened too, though. This is the however many people at Disney saying, like, we can't have Dopey in this movie and just have him be the fun, stupid one, because that's offensive. Yeah. So he has to be something else. And so they made it that he is afraid to speak. Okay, whatever. Sure. And Snow convinces him to whistle, which immediately wins over all the other dwarves, which is weird. Like, that's not how interaction works. Like, okay. And then she does Whistle While You Work, which it's kind of funny that it comes so soon after the Evil Queen one, because this is the best song in the movie, probably the best scene in the movie.
It's the
just,
only one
like,
that
works.
Yeah, it's the only one that works. Asterisk.
I genuinely, I think the scene, I like the scene better than the original because she is.
Yeah.
It's like they're combining the dumbass hand washing scene in the original and the dumbass all the animals are cleaning the house scene.
Yeah.
Which I had problems with both of those, and when you combine them together, it's like, no, the dwarves are cleaning the house.
Yeah, we've solved the problem here.
Once again contrives to do the least amount of cleaning, which I did enjoy. I love that.
She's in a managerial position. She's here to manage.
She's literally a maid. Like, that's her job.
Somebody has to be, if you've ever been to a construction site, somebody's job has to be to stand around and keep an eye on things so that they can report when an accident's happened to OSHA. That's her job.
That's her job.
In case you've ever wondered what the fuck that guy's job is.
She's like, it's like a fun scene. It's not bad.
I think this is a good adaptational move. I genuinely am like, oh, like, this is fun. Again, it's supposed to be showing us like, oh, she's a natural leader. I think my problems, I think, with this scene really do just lie with, one, again, the performance of these dwarves is nightmarish. Every time they're on screen, I hate them. But also the introduction to the scene with like them bullying Dopey is so crazy. It's like bonkers, like insulting, because one, like, there are people on the planet who are mute. There are people on the planet who because of like either like physical or like mental or like things like are incapable of speech, and it's hard and it's tough to be in that position, right? These are people who do exist in the world, and so to be like, they make fun of Dopey because Dopey doesn't make any noise, so what Dopey should do is to just talk.
Right?
It's crazy.
That's an excellent point. That sucks. It sucks, like, super bad.
Right. You could just have Dopey know sign language if you're really like, well, they can't be silent. They could just do sign language.
Yeah. You absolutely could.
Like,
heck, you could even still do the whistle thing if you really wanted to be like, hey, if you want them to pay attention to you, make some noise.
Yeah.
Get their attention and then sign. Like, if Dopey is trying to sign the whole time and nobody listened to him, I do think that would have been stronger.
That's something. There's like a juice there.
Yeah. Wow, you should have punched up this movie.
Dude, this movie needed one, it needed to get away from like just the people with money is always the problem. I think with a lot of these Disney projects, I think, are hampered by just the fact that like it's very, very clear that there is like just too many executives with their fingers in the pie.
I think you could definitely make an argument that some of the early remakes are stronger, even if I don't particularly like them, because they're like, whatever, this is just a cash grab, do whatever you want. Like the
it's a passion project. It was the Jungle Book was like a passion project.
I mean, the Jungle Book one's very good. But even like Beauty and the Beast, I felt like there was an effort to try something there. Which makes it kind of a memorable movie, even if at the end of the day I don't really like it that much. Like looking back on it, but I liked it when I watched it.
Yeah, I watched it. I had a conversation with somebody recently about this, because I went and watched it in the theater and I cried. I was so emotionally overcome when watching that movie, and then when I watched it again, like, it wasn't there, and I realized that like, oh, what I was reacting to was just my nostalgia, my love for the original.
Yes.
Right. And I think that movie does a really good job of that remake does a really good job of invoking that original movie. I do think once you go back and watch the original movie, or if you watch it again, it doesn't hit.
If you watch the original movie, you'll just be like, oh, right, this is why I liked it.
This movie kicks ass.
As it turns out.
This is one of the greatest films ever made. Yeah, I do think that the lesson I think that Disney has learned from all of this remake nonsense is that they shouldn't give a shit about quality. That they should only care about the initial response, because the initial response is where the money is. And I think that
why did they hire Gal Gadot?
Because I don't think Disney executives have their finger on the pulse in terms of what's happening in the real world.
I do find the fact that when I watched this movie, I found the fact that she was in it like astounding, because I was like, this is a problematic actress who's not good at her job, so I don't know what she's doing here.
It's one of those things where she's not even really that good of an actor. No offense to her, I think her role as Wonder Woman. Some offense to her. Well, yeah, she sucks. But I want to like give credit where credit is due. I think her performance as Wonder Woman works, but I think part of the reason why it works is that it doesn't need you don't need a particularly strong actor for that role. It's a comic book movie. The performances are already kind of over the top, kind of hammy. Mm-hmm. And also, like, the function of that movie utilizes her very, very well as, like, less of a person and more of an icon.
Right.
But that just doesn't fly here, especially because she is doing so much overacting in specifically in Snow White. Mm. That is bananas. Like, why step into this mud, right? Why put your foot in it like this, hiring her, when you could just hire, like, any actress of acclaim to do this role?
Yeah, who just, like, knows what she's doing. Like, this...
Right.
It doesn't need to be anybody, really.
It could literally be anybody.
So, there's a plot point that we haven't talked about where Snow thinks that her father is alive because the huntsman said the queen never told you what happened to your father. I was kind of curious if this was going to be a legitimate plot point, but I wasn't sure. So she thinks he's alive, and she's like, well, the bandits out here claim to work for my father, so I'm gonna go find out if he's alive from them. It's a very tenuous idea, but I can believe that this person who is meant to be naive might grasp at it, right?
Again, you can't tell me that this Snow White is a person of means, is a person who is going to have agency, and then also have them be this stupid.
Yeah, it is tough. She goes to find these bandits. She finds Jonathan, who we've already established as the leader of the bandits. So it's weird they establish it again later in this scene. Whatever.
Correct. They also give him his own 7 henchmen.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
They get a song where they're, like, sort of arguing about
princess problems
and the idea of having more than somebody else. This song is fine. This is when I was like, oh, they're trying to speed run the plot of Tangled real quick. They're trying to get these people to fall in love in, like, we got 10 minutes. Like,
we've run out of time. We've spent so much of this movie not making them fall in love. I gotta say, the messaging of this song, I think just listening to it, it's fine. I do think the message of this song super sucks. I do not like this dude showing up and being like, the queen tried to kill you. You think we should be nice to people? That's woke shit. Like, what? Dude.
Not even the song sucks as much as it's just, like, very confusing for the movie. Because like, he's acting like she has so much privilege. But he knows that she has been working as a maid. And she's essentially been a prisoner in her own house. And so, like, where is this coming from, man? Like,
also, he says early in the film when he's stealing these fucking potatoes that he's stealing them for people who are hungry. His character just, like, does a complete 180 to being like, all I care about is me, myself, and I, like that Toby Keith song.
Right, because he starts as heroic. He starts as, like, I'm stealing to help people. And then it's like, secretly, I was never stealing to help people. I was stealing so that I could have, a wheelbarrow full of stuff that I can't spend anywhere because I'm a bandit who lives in the woods.
Yeah.
So that's confusing.
So that me and my 7 cool friends can just kind of be annoying to the kingdom.
Very low annoying. Like, and you know what? You're right. When you said his name should just be Robin, they could have just made Robin Hood. If they intertwined these two stories, I don't think anybody would have given any shits. Like,
By doing it, you're walking towards Shrek territory, but like, you can't do it. You can just, you can't just mix and match. Fuck it, just make it a Robin Hood movie and make Snow White Maid Marian.
Yeah, could do that too. Man, I would actually have loved if in Robin Hood was a little bit testy that Maid Marian just lived with John. With
what are
Prince
you doing?
John. And like didn't do shit because she doesn't do shit in that movie.
Oh, bro, there's that Robin Hood movie that came out recently with where it had like all the like super hyper modern clothing and stuff. I don't know if you remember this. Because they make him Batman in that movie.
Great.
Right? Where they decide that Robin is Bruce Wayne and he has to secretly be the Hood. and they literally do the scene in Batman in Batman Begins where Bruce Wayne's girlfriend is like, you're like, what the fuck are you doing to help people?
Sorry.
And he's like, I'm doing more than you know.
Sorry. I don't know why I thought of this. I thought of Robin Hood falling into a cave full of robins. They did that scene from The Dark Knight.
Well, he'd have to fall into a cave full of hoods, and they start falling around him. And he's like, "Oh my god!" Somebody throws a brick wrapped in a hood through his window. Like,
Royals are a superstitious and cowardly lot.
They literally say that. They literally do. Dude, this movie sucks so bad.
Good,
hilarious. I think it's kind of awesome. I think it's kind of awesome how bad it is.
So the moment that she actually interacts with Jonathan, I'm like, oh, the king's dead. Well, we're not bringing the king back. King's dead.
He's dead as hell.
At first I was like, no body, no crime, right?
Same.
Important rule.
He went off to fight,
a nebulous war.
A nebulous war with the Southern Kingdom, or whatever.
Part of the thing they really gloss past is the idea that, like, the reason everything sucks now is that the Queen has convinced everyone that war is important. And, like, if we'd really talked about that, if we'd really gone into it, I might have liked the messaging of this movie.
There is something a little astounding, right? To, like, hire Gal Gadot to be your evil leader and have their whole thing be like, we need to be prepared at any moment to kill those people from the South.
Right.
You're really saying something that I don't think you mean to be saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy because at one point after this song that they do with each other, they start like glossing, like they start like really talking about how great her dad was, right? And how like he always did the right thing, he followed his heart, and it's like this motherfucker literally like followed his dick into marrying an evil woman and then into fighting like a war with a kingdom he didn't even know existed. What are you talking about? This guy made all the mistakes.
Do you know who I give a lot of leeway to?
Yeah.
Is the Sultan in Aladdin. I know lots of people don't, and that's fair.
Yeah.
But this man was hypnotized for a lot of his role.
Dude, this guy's brain isn't there anymore. He's getting like Men in Black mind erased like every 2 seconds.
And if it was clear that the evil queen could hypnotize people, I'd be like, yeah, that's what happened. That's what she did. But no, she just kind of hypnotized him with how hot she was. And it's like, hey man, not okay.
Yeah.
Your daughter's an orphan now. Good job. Like, so they do all this talk about how great the old king was. All the soldiers that the queen sent after Snow White show up, and Jonathan sends Snow White away so they can fight the soldiers themselves.
This is crazy because he just spent a whole song being like, why should I care about you?
Yeah.
I'm selfish. And then, like, 2 seconds later, he's like, well, I guess she is, like, really hot, so...
Well, but this is the thing, it's like... But the other bandits, seem to want to fight for her. Like, they don't have any issue with, like, running into a life or death battle to protect the princess. So, like, what are the politics here? You know, like, it's baffling. I also kind of wish there were some old bandits, because, like, that's who would be loyal to the king, right?
Oh, yeah, some, like, really old guy.
Yeah. So they get into this. So the way that the soldiers announce themselves is by shooting an arrow. They do not shoot an arrow the entirety of this fight, which is the only reason these bandits are not immediately mowed down. Snow White does one of the dumbest things I can possibly think to do with the power of commanding animals.
Yeah.
Which is she gets a dress that looks kind of like her dress from the bandits.
Yeah, from their wheelbarrow full of junk.
Fills it with a bunch of birds and has the soldiers chase that. The main guy stabs the dress as it's on the ground like he's Darth Vader checking for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I loved that. I thought that was awesome. You send it up to the classics. That's so funny. I thought he was like, did it. All right, guys, let's go home.
Well, you don't get better than that. I think we can all agree.
She also steals his horse. I love this. She steals his horse.
That was great. I need more horse stealing. Sorry, continue.
It's so funny. She steals his horse and then she, like, gets off the horse.
Lets it go like 2 seconds later.
This is a real horse, which is, I'm always amazed when a movie has a real horse in it because, like, that's an insurance nightmare. They put Rachel Ziegler on a real horse. They taught her how to ride a horse. She gets off the horse. She, like, gently slaps the horse's butt and is like, go on now. Shoot, get out of here.
Doesn't take the bridle off or anything.
No, and then the horse proceeds to, like, slowly amble off screen.
Like, he could have waved a carrot at it or something.
Right. It's so funny. It's so funny to me that it's clear that, like, at that point, there is a human being holding this horse's bridle, right? And they they were told, yeah, just walk the horse off, man. Like, who gives a shit?
So she has lured all of the soldiers away, except for one guy with a crossbow who for some reason wasn't shooting at the bandits earlier and was just sitting here digging around and apparently missed that everybody else is gone.
American sniper over here being like, I was spending this whole time just setting up.
And he is going to shoot at Snow White. Now, here's the thing. Gal Gadot said to go get her.
Right.
She didn't say to kill her, presumably because she wants to be the one to kill her so she can know.
I feel like this guy is making a classic henchman mistake, right? Of, well, if I kill her, I'm going to get all the cred. I get to be captain of the guard.
I don't think that's what's going to happen. Anyway, he tries to shoot her in the back, and magically, Jonathan's like, there's an arrow coming!
He smells him. He, like, sniffs the air. He's like, I think there's an arrow happening.
And, like, boom, pivots right in front of her, takes it to the chest, and they're like, oh my god, we don't have a doctor. Why don't the bandits have a doctor? We don't have a doctor. We need a doctor. And Snow is like, I know a guy whose name is Doctor.
I got this.
And Doc is like, he's like, Doc's thing is that he uses long words, so I actually don't remember any of his lines. But he's essentially like, I'm a professor of mineralogy.
Yeah. He's like, it's more of a sobriquet than an actual, like, degree. I kind of like this. I think this scene, again, works.
This scene could totally work.
Except for the fact that, again, we have to stare at these awful CGI monstrosities.
Well, the awful CGI monstrosities are bad. The way that we got here was really weird. Why wasn't he just hurt during the fight?
Right. They take him in, they take him to Doc, and everyone starts arguing, and Snow White once again has to, like, snap her fingers and talk down to everybody and be like, why can't we all just get along?
I want to make it clear.
Together?
She doesn't snap her fingers, she whistles. And I just want to say that because that's fucking her thing in this movie. Correct. She's basically like, this is what the evil queen would want. And I was like, the evil queen's not thinking about these people.
Dude, yeah, the evil queen does not give a shit about these magical dwarves or this group of 7 dropout college students. Like,
yeah.
And then they take him inside the cut after this to everybody waiting outside, pacing back and forth. I thought this kid was giving birth. I was like, oh shit, it's a boy.
It was very like, emergency room, waiting room. And it was funny. That was good. I did enjoy that. The doc comes out and says stuff so nonsensical that everybody assumes that Jonathan is dead, and then Jonathan walks out. I thought that was pretty good too.
Well, when Jonathan walks out, Doc is like, "Oh shit! I thought I killed him." He says something along the lines of like, "Oh, I thought he died," which I thought was good. I was like, "This is good. This works. This is funny. The setup and the punchline."
In the most forced scene transition I have ever seen.
Yeah.
I think Happy's like, and now we dance because everything's fine.
Yes.
And so now it's a party all of a sudden, which is, I mean, I don't have an issue with it. It was really forced to get here, but whatever. There are paper lanterns and fireflies that I think are actually fairies everywhere.
It's so funny because
I only mention it because we're doing Tangled really hard.
We are. When they inevitably do their live action remake of Tangled, it's going to be kind of weird, right?
Don't say this.
It's going to be like, oh, didn't we already watch this movie? I'm going to be real with you. I don't think they're going to. I don't think the Disney company remembers that Tangled exists.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
They allowed the guy who made Tangled to do 3 seasons of a TV show.
Isn't that awesome?
And I feel like they don't know that happened. Alan Menken wrote the music.
Yeah, no. I do think they genuinely were like what? This was the Disney era where they were like, you're doing what? Yeah, who gives a shit? An incredibly terrifying paranormal drama about 2 children spending time with their maybe relative. Yeah, who gives a shit? Give him all the money he wants. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, and now all the people who were doing stuff in that era are like, animation's dead now. Television animation is garbage.
Oh, man. It's crazy.
So it's going good.
Yeah, it's going great. So they start singing their love song.
These two are in love after such little interaction that it's almost hilarious that they bothered to give this romance more time to breathe than in the original, because it's barely any more time. I almost believe it less.
Because in the original, she's going around singing about how she wishes someone would slide into her DMs.
Right.
I'm just waiting for somebody to come in here and slide into my DMs. Send me those pics. I want to shoot my shot. And then this prince is running around and he's like, whoa, I'm hearing the wildest voice I've ever heard in my life.
Full ass crazy,
talking about how they're looking for some of this. Time to shoot my shot. And that's
God,
within the context
I bet her
of the
lips
movie.
are so dead and cold.
I bet she's so cold. But it's one of those things where in the original movie it's crazy, but the original movie is framing itself as a fairy tale, right?
Right.
The levels of reality are beyond the moon. We are not on Earth.
It's not supposed to make sense.
In this, they're doing they are changing so many things to try and make this more grounded that it makes all of this feel insane. What are we talking about? You just met him. You don't know him like that.
So they fall in love. They're in love now.
No. One more thing. Yeah. While she's singing her side of the I Love song, she's
the worst version of it. Lest I see the light. Continue.
Yeah. She looks at him and he's playing with fireflies with Dopey.
Yeah.
like, he's like, oh my god, they move. What the fuck? And it's like, this is the least flattering this guy could ever be in this moment.
Well, he's with the emotional anchor of the movie, Andy.
Right. He is himself kind of stupid. So, oh man, what a wild. So yeah, so they do their song. You know, they love each other now. They almost kiss, but they don't.
And then they realize everybody's watching them, and Snow White says hello, and it's like, Snow White, what are we doing? There should have been a different take of that.
Yeah, this is not that kind of movie.
And then they hear, like, a horn. And, like, these guys are being pretty loud for hunting somebody in a forest. So they hear, like, a horn, so they know that the soldiers are still nearby. And the bandits go off to... Sorry, I just realized that the rest of the bandits disappear.
Yeah, they fuck off. They are not going to be in this movie until the very end.
The bandits go off to distract them and, like, lead them away. And Snow White does something pretty dumb, which is give Jonathan evidence that he knows her.
Correct.
In that fucking Tiffany's locket that her dad gave her.
Yeah.
And he goes off, immediately gets captured. It's kind of funny because he's like, oh, wow, here you are, being the hero. I can't believe it. And then he's like immediately captured. And he's like, I'm a dumbass. Which, you know what, man?
You
fair.
are.
Like, hey, like, I gotta give him props. Like, self-knowledge.
I
for
thought
sure.
Again, I think this actor is good. I think he really sells that moment really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think his delivery is really great.
He gets put into... Oh, the evil queen finds the locket, obviously. And it's
this is crazy. I genuinely was like, just say you stole it.
Yeah.
Just say you stole it.
Yeah, he's actually really bad at lying. As we've established.
If you said I stole it, she would have probably hired you to go kill her.
Well, but Snow White did release him earlier, so she's got to know that he probably won't just stab her to death, because apparently nobody else will. So he is locked in the dungeon, chained next to the huntsman, and we'll get back to them later, because something could have been done here that wasn't as bad as this.
Yeah, it's wild that the huntsman is alive, but, you know.
Well, okay, so do you know what else is down there? Is that skeleton?
It's the skeleton!
The skeleton reaching for water, and I was like, at least this guy's back, my favorite character from the original.
Right, I genuinely was like, I like turned to me and I was like, that's the skeleton! And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And the skeleton is reaching for water, just like in the original, and so it made me think, okay, this is how the queen kills people. She does not put them to death. She leaves them to die of dehydration in the dungeon, which, hey, is evil. Like, for sure.
That's hella evil. Sure,
tier.
Absolutely. One of the worst ways to die.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a lot of other worse ones. Maybe floating into space. Like,
yeah, maybe getting set on fire.
Maybe, at least it's fast. So the skeleton's back, that's cool. The evil queen has a much, much worse transformation scene. It's shocking. I like her vulture, because it's the only vulture that looks like a real bird. It's the only bird that looks like a real bird in the movie.
It does. It's proportionately correct.
Because vultures already look evil.
Right, correct. I think the transformation sequence is really, really bad. It's clear that they just had...
They put an old filter on her.
Yeah, an
like
old
an Instagram
TikTok
filter to make you look old.
TikTok old filter. But then also Gal Gadot doesn't do a goddamn thing to make her voice sound different.
Nothing. She sounds exactly the same, and I was like, "Where's your cackle?" That's the whole point. Like, the original Evil Queen has so much fun when she's transformed. She's like, "Yes."
It feels like this is her real self.
Yes.
Like, she's stepping into her real self.
Which is part of what this movie is trying to sell me as the message, and then it fucking fails.
Yeah.
So she transforms. Her transformation is underwhelming, but also just, like, she just has a bunch of, like, little vials on a big dish that she uses, and it's just not as cool as the evil queen's like dungeon cauldron that she has.
Right, her little library of how to do evil books.
That library's great. It doesn't come back. So wild. So she's transformed. So we cut back to Snow White. The dwarves are leaving for work, which is wild in the context of this movie. I understood it in the last movie, and the last time they did this. In this version of the movie, why the hell would you leave her alone for a second?
Right.
Because people are actively trying to kill her right now. She is not properly hiding out. But she's gonna leave. Is she gonna go to the south to look for her dad still? I think so.
Yeah. She's still like, I have to go to the Southern Kingdom. She told Jonathan that she was gonna wait for him to come back.
And then didn't. Yeah.
And then she was like, nah, I fucking lied to that dumbass. I'm gonna go look for him right now. Why the fuck would I wait?
He said he was gonna be back in like 2 days or something. Like, he gave a very small number. Like...
Yeah.
So she's like, no, I gotta go find my dad. And so she's like packing up when the evil queen shows up. And this scene is not as fun as the original, but I kind of buy it for what they've set up. Like, yeah, I believe that because she's like, oh, I have this necklace from Jonathan. It is weird because she's like, he's been captured. I have this necklace. He told me to bring it to you.
It's like, who the fuck are you?
Like, how did this happen? For one thing, there are 7 bandits that would have done this first. For another thing, how was he captured, but he gave you the necklace?
You forgot, Tony, that they forgot about those guys and they're not in the movie anymore.
But they are important to the film. They come back.
Yeah, again, they're an integral pillar to the function of how this movie wraps up. But they're also not in it right.
So it is a little weird, but she's like, oh, but everybody loved your dad. Your dad was great. And here, if you're going to go try to find him, take this apple. She's going to try to go to the castle to free Jonathan. And she's like, well, if you do that, you should have this to keep your strength up. And she bites into the apple and fucking beefs it, obviously.
Fucking eats shit. And then the queen just teleports away.
The queen just leaves. And this was the moment where I was like, it sucks. Not only does it suck that she doesn't get killed, and it sucks that she gets to just turn back into her hot form, despite the fact that, like, I was kind of convinced watching the last movie that she couldn't. Like, and that idea was really interesting to me. And if they weren't going to kill her, I would have liked for her to not be the fairest of them all anymore, to be like, she can't turn back. That would have been fascinating. And they don't do that either. And the dwarves just come back and are sad. And I was like, so this is the moment where they're robbing Grumpy of, like, what he did in the last movie, which is sort of act like he didn't care about Snow White, and then at the last minute lead a charge to kill her killer. Like,
yeah.
And that was great. But instead, he's just a background character, and Dopey's the important one, and he's sad, and everybody's
all
sad.
They don't build her cool glass coffin.
But in this slightly more grounded version of the world, I do get that. They probably are planning on burying her like normal people. Because it's not also 3 months later when her love shows up. Cut to Jonathan, by the way.
The fuck's he been doing this whole time?
Andy, I was absolutely certain, because at the very beginning, he's pulling at his chain, and the huntsman is like, that's not going to work. We're trapped.
It's no use.
And I was sure the dwarfs were going to break him out with their pickaxes. I was like, this is how it's going to work. But not only do they not, it turns out all you needed to do to get this chain off the wall was have 2 people pull it at the same time.
Mm-hmm. That's all it took.
I get it as a metaphor. I do.
Yeah. He is selfish. But now he's the one who is being selfless.
Well, we work together. You can overcome this evil. Sure. This is dumb, though. Like, it's like, why isn't this proper? If this is how the queen kills people, why isn't he proper bolted to the wall?
Right. He then goes to the skeleton, my boy, the skeleton, and apparently that skeleton is holding a key to the lock in his hand.
Oh, I thought that he picked the lock with the skeleton's finger bone.
No, he's holding a key. He just picks up a key.
Oh, my version of this movie's cooler.
Right, I know. But he then turns around and the huntsman's like, says something, and then we like smash cut to him walking out of the cave, and I was like, did he just fucking leave the huntsman there?
No, the huntsman says something like, I'll go after the guards, or like something wild like that, and just goes in the other direction. Like, I'll make sure the guards aren't on us. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, why? Like, what are you doing then? And he also, at this point, disappears from the movie.
He's out of the movie. He's done. Which is weird because the huntsman is a character that could rationally be a bigger character in the movie. There is a movie called Snow White and the Huntsman. I don't think it's good, but like...
You could make him like the pivotal character. You could make him Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
Aragorn, son of Arathorn would not put up with an evil queen.
Dude, listen, he's a problem solver, not a problem maker, but...
2 seconds in, that lady's getting her head chopped off. So Jonathan just shows up at this funeral, and I want to give points to the movie where it has earned it. The kiss did not feel as gross as they could have done it. It felt kind of natural.
It's fine. They set up circumstances in such a way that like it didn't feel weird.
It was like a peck, and it's like, this is a goodbye kiss because I didn't get to kiss. I do get it.
Yeah, we were like this close. We were like this close. So like, you know, it's not like a full on like, let's get some tongue in there kiss.
Snow White, I mean, it's... Okay, so Snow White wakes up, and there was a part of me that's like, I know that there's more movie, because I know we have to kill the evil queen, but the movie should end here.
The movie should end here.
It should. There's no, like, better moment for the climax of the movie, and that's not great, because it's like, you want Snow White to face the queen, but I just don't think there's a rational way to tell the story like that, because the way they do it fully doesn't work.
This feels like, again, a waste of my fucking time. Because she, like, wakes up, she, like, reaches out and grabs, like, a single snowflake that fell in the middle of spring.
Oh, right. I forgot about this.
And then she starts talking about how, like, we have to do something because we are living in fear. And then Dopey is like, nah, man, we're not afraid anymore. Also, I can talk now, so I'm normal. So,
yeah.
But I'm not going to change my name. And that's supposed to be our, like, oh, big... heart-wrenching, whoa, oh my god, he's so brave.
Right. So she shows up at Castletown in a hood. And
Main Street, USA.
My note was that some princesses would have made a speech here, but she not only doesn't, she doesn't say fucking shit. She just starts walking, makes eye contact with a girl that she gave a flower crown to 10 years ago.
I loved this. I was like, oh shit, flower crown girl remembers who the queen is. She puts the flower crown on to like signify that she's ready for battle, I guess.
Yeah, it's fully insane. And like, here's my problem, is that this should feel like a political maneuver, because what she's saying is the people are behind me, and this maneuver should not be even pointed at the queen. It should be pointed at the guards, who she should then be like, they're behind me, are you behind me?
Mm-hmm.
We can take down the queen together. The queen's actually not that scary in this movie without the guards. The guards are very clearly her power. And I thought that's what she was gonna do. And she kind of does in 15 minutes. Like, instead, she goes up and the queen just walks out and they just start debating each other.
This is wild. This is such a wild thing to do. It's such a bananas way to end the movie. The queen does her whole, she's a flower and I'm diamond, but then she pulls out like a knife made of
diamond
plastic.
knife. and is like, stab me, bitch.
Yeah, do it. And I'm like, do it. Take her out.
Yeah, and I don't know the moral significance of this fucking Emperor Palpatine bullshit.
Right. Like, if you strike me down, you'll be exactly as evil as I am. It's like, no, you suck. Just kill her. But once again, Snow White chooses the say nothing option.
I genuinely think a lot of the problems with modern movies is that people watched the last Star Wars, the original trilogy, and didn't get it.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, the bad guy wins if he gets killed. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. You know what? Yeah, you know what Luke did? Luke made a bet with really low odds. He was like, nah, my dad's good, and he's gonna take care of this for me, like all dads should.
I don't want to get distracted by Star Wars. I think you are supposed to understand from the opening of that movie that Luke, because he uses Force choking powers, has the potential to fall to the dark side because he learned some of his power from Vader.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I'm gonna cut all this out. Palpatine's like, you're just gonna be exactly like him if you kill me. And Luke's genuinely afraid of that, which is maybe fair because he knows his dad did it. But then they use it for everything now, and it's Snow White is never gonna become the evil queen. And if she stabs her to death, that will be her saving her people.
Dude, it would be so... Could you imagine if that's how this movie ended, if she just fucking did it? Or if she cut her hands off? Trying to do magic now, you crone.
Well, I was also like, this feels like a trap. Like, obviously this is some kind of trap. Like, this isn't gonna actually kill her, so Snow White shouldn't even be considering it.
But also, in Star Wars, right? Sorry, I hate to do this. Luke throws away his lightsaber, right? That's the big moment, is he literally throws away his weapon to be like, I'm committing to the path of peace. I'm not even going to let myself do violence, to think about violence. I thought she was going to throw the fucking knife.
She doesn't, though.
She doesn't. She does nothing.
She does nothing. She does the stand there, do nothing option. I do like that you have clocked that that's what she's been doing the whole time.
It's crazy. It's so bad.
And the queen takes the dagger and is like, all right, I'll just kill you then. Which, sure.
No, that's not what happens. She gives the dagger to Paul.
That's right. She gives the dagger to Paul, and Snow White's like, I know you, Paul. You used to be somebody who didn't work for an evil queen. And then she makes eye contact with every person in the guard and is like, you used to have a normal job where you weren't part of a police state.
It's so funny because she's like, Paul, you have a wife who loves you. And then the camera cuts to this woman in the crowd. And I'm like, is that his wife? And then she's like, and you, Eric, you used to be the son of a baker. Your dad would be ashamed. And then it cuts to an old man. I am ashamed. And it's like, and I was like, fuck me, movie. Stop. I'm not this stupid. I can imagine. And then when Paul's like, I'm not going to kill her, it cuts to his wife in the crowd again. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to fuck that guy. He's earned sex tonight.
Do you know what was very funny about this? To me, about this is I had just watched a fascinating video about this state senator who tried to get popcorn banned in his state from movie theaters because he really didn't like it. It's too loud.
The eating of the popcorn?
The eating of the popcorn? He doesn't like it?
What?
Yeah. So there's this and it's just this guy who looks up weird shit from the past in this is 1920s or something, and he's talking about it. It couldn't have been 1920s. It had to have been talkies, so maybe the 40s. And so he's talking about it. He's showing. He's reading all these news articles, and he's talking about how in the actual final debate about it, when they got all the theater, the people who own the theaters in to give rebuttals and be like, no, we shouldn't do this. And one of them calls it socialist. So the whole thing's breaking down because it's a Republican pushed thing. And the Republican guy's like, do you think this is socialist? Huh? What do you think? And at the end, a hairdresser walks up and she says, I'm the hairdresser who does the hairdos of all of the senators' wives, and they all think this is dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was that moment where I was like, shit, why didn't we talk to Paul's wife earlier?
Right. Well, we could have done a real, what was it, Lysistrata? Yeah, we could have done a real Lysistrata type thing, which is like, this is like an ancient Greek play about all the women going on sex strike because they want the men to stop fighting the war against Athens. And so the whole play it's like a comedy, so it's supposed to be about how like women, we think women don't have any power, but they actually have a lot of power, and like also, and modern interpretations of the play are like, women have always throughout history like had to like use what means that they had, right, to make change in the world. And like, so they could have done that, right? If they wanted to make this movie more feminist.
They didn't, though.
Instead, we just get this stupid like cut back and forth where she's just like, and Derek, you have a loving daughter. And then we cut to a child and she's like, I do love him, maybe.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see how this shakes out.
Yeah, we'll think about it. Yeah, I'll think about it depending on how he answers this question.
So Paul's not going to kill her. So the queen grabs the knife, goes to stab Snow White, and she gets shot in the hand by the bandit played by a dwarf, not a dwarf, who was clearly supposed to be one of the dwarves the whole time. And he's like, yeah, I did it. Me, Crossbow Master Quinn. Like, okay.
Not only that, but there is a shot earlier so everybody's breaking into the castle. Again, I thought we were going to get a fucking wizard fight.
We don't see everybody breaking into the castle. We see the shadows of the dwarves, and then somebody grabs a crossbow. I thought it was going to be one of the dwarves, and I did not think of Crossbow Master Quinn.
I was like, this is if this isn't Crossbow Master Quig, I'm gonna riot because it's Quig. Sorry, it's Quig with two G's, not two N's. I was like, if this isn't Crossbow Master Quig, I'm gonna riot because you've set up 3 times that this guy's whole fucking deal is crossbows.
It's crossbows, and he doesn't have his crossbow because it's stolen.
But you're right, it's stupid. It's a stupid thing for them to have done.
Well, and again, if there was a wizard fight and also Crossbow Master Quig was there picking people off, fine.
Right. If we have a battle of 5 armies.
But he just shoots her hand, and she's like, ah! And then she turns around, and the 7 dwarves are posing. Like, yeah, you like, fuck with us, we'll fuck with you. Like, really?
Yeah. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us!
It's also really weird, because if you think about it, the theming is very strange in this movie, because they do put a little bit of emphasis on the fact that this kingdom is just chock-a-block full of mines.
They got and, like, gems so many days.
Gems.
I thought they were gonna do gem magic.
And it's the evil queen's like, but I'm a diamond and you're just a rose. And it's like, so shouldn't, I feel like the metaphor has broken, like, beyond recognition.
Yeah, no. Well, and then they're gonna fuck it up even more with this final scene we get with the evil queen.
So the evil queen, somehow,
she just storms off. She just leaves.
But, like, the dwarves were there, so, like, did she shove past them? She, like, runs off, and she asks the mirror one more time if she's the fairest of them all. And it's like, I don't understand why this is the question. Snow White being beautiful did not do any of this.
Right.
So I don't get it. And the mirror's like, time for my line. Where it's like, Snow White is beautiful from within, and your beauty only runs skin deep, so she will always be the fairest of all. And she's like, fuck that. Hits it with a magic stick that she's got.
It's the king's scepter. It's literally like,
it's not magic. Okay.
In the original Snow White, it's just like a background prop, and they like lovingly remade it for some reason.
They really care about it. It's in a lot of shots. So she smacks the mirror, smashes it. Now, this is a witch.
Yeah.
She's magic. She should know how magic works, particularly the one magic that she does, which is talking to this mirror. She breaks the mirror, and this seems to turn her into crystal and suck her into a mirror dimension.
I wish it turned her into crystal, because that would, like, if it turned her into, like, diamond or something, that would make sense, right? but it doesn't. It like turns her into like a mold person. She becomes like the symbiote from Spider-Man.
She does look pretty venomy. Yeah. She gets venomized. This is part of they're wrapping Snow White into the Marvel universe. That makes sense. She was supposed to be in I can't remember any of the names of any of the movies of the later ones. It doesn't matter.
she gets banished to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah. And Snow White, who just watched this is what I was like, oh, Snow White's a sociopath. Because she just looks at the mirror and then leaves.
Yeah, she's like, fuck, man, I guess that problem solved. Thank God. No one had to kill anybody. She just did it herself. Thank God. And then she, like, turns around and the huntsman is there posing.
Yeah. Uncool, dude.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Everybody's happy now, and Snow White 1,000% starts a cult.
Yeah, this is like the ending of Midsommar. They've all gone to heaven.
Everybody's dancing like at the beginning of the movie, but instead of wearing the bright colors from the beginning of the movie that we've established means everything's great, they are all wearing bright
stark white.
And it's crazy.
It's a wild ending. A wild choice, to be sure.
What'd you think of this movie?
Yeah, bad. It fucking sucks. It's so bad. It's so wild to me. I could never have imagined it would have been this bad.
I was sure that I knew everything about this movie and that it would be extremely mid, but it's so much. I can see why they made every decision they made, and every decision was wrong. Like,
yeah. Well, it feels like, I think it's one of those, I think, things where you can see the journey, but with the benefit of hindsight that they don't know that they are not they're not hiking on a trail. They're going into like bear territory, right? They identified all of the parts of the original that had to be changed.
Yes. But
then they made them all worse.
They made them all worse, like, by a wide margin. It's actually crazy. But the thing that really astounded me is that Gal Gadot's Evil Queen sucks all of the energy and life out of the movie, because that's the Evil Queen in the original put all the energy and life into the movie.
Yeah.
And it's astounding. There's, like I said, there's like one scene that I'm okay with, and it still has the ugliest orb you've ever seen.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things where it's like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is a very, very old movie, and it stands the test of time. I think because it's one of the first, if not the first, animated feature film, like out to come out of the U.S. It's the beginning of of the Disney as we know it today, right? It couldn't be this almost comically evil super monolith without this movie, right? Without this heritage. And yet they clearly don't care. But if you don't care, then why do it?
Then why even do it? Like,
why even do it?
This is, I think, what people were afraid of when they announced the remake. Genuinely. Like, I think this is everybody's worst fear. Everybody who actually gave a shit about this movie, this is their worst fear in this remake. And that's kind of amazing that they managed that.
That they could hit everything, every possible thing that you could imagine them fucking up. They did it.
Yeah.
It almost feels intentional, right? Like you would expect you don't expect somebody to earnestly get a 0 on a test.
Thank you for listening to Direct Video VHS. I have been your host, Tony Robusto.
I have been your host, Andy Reyes. I don't have my guitar. I didn't practice for today. I just need to put that out there.
If you'd done it again, it would have been weird because it's the same film.
I had the same thought. I was like, well, it's not worth it for this one.
So we'll do a regular outro. You can find me at inspiredtrueevents.org, and you can find the podcast at direct2.video, and apparently this is new, all the podcatchers.
You can find us on on iTunes again. Yay!
For real this time. I don't know how that stopped happening.
Find me on Blue Sky at royalty_Valens and on YouTube at Ethical James. Ethical Games Journalism.
Ethical James is my OC, and you can't have him.
That's the alternate universe where James from Team Rocket just stays a really weird rich kid.
Yeah, because that sounds ethical to me. So, thank you to Scott Buckley for Homeward, which we're playing right now. And because we didn't say it last time, because I didn't know it was going to happen, I'm just going to thank Lee Rosevere this time for theme from Penguins on Parade.
Oh, gosh. God damn it.
It was a choice I made at the time.
What are we watching next?
Oh, fuck.
I think it's time. We're gonna, I think May, we can begin the summer of Pinocchio.
Jesus.
I think we could do it.
That sounds like it's 4 movies, doesn't it?
Yeah, at least, right? I think I have 4 movies. I mean, I have way more than 4 movies.
I know that you have 4 movies on there. I mean, should we start with Pinocchio?
I think so. I think we start
that makes the most sense.
With Pinocchio.
Fuck me.
And then from there, like the world is our
the world is our Pinocchio adaptation.
Yeah, the world is our Pinocchio.
So next time we're gonna watch Disney's Pinocchio from 1940, and I'm not gonna like it, and then I'm not gonna like any of the other movies we watch. I am the ghost of John Smith.
And I am a horrible, awful-looking CGI chicken. Have you updated the capture link on iTunes?
I'll give you one worse than that. I found out we're not on iTunes. We weren't on iTunes. We are now. We definitely were on iTunes at some point. I remember putting us up there, and it's why we're listed on other places. But at some point, they booted us or something.
What the hell? They were like, these guys aren't serious.
I don't know what the fuck that was about, but we're back where I just actually finished submitting us on Apple Podcasts and got it all worked out.
Oh my god. We're so good at this.
On this website, there is a distribution thing that just shows you all the most popular places where you should put your podcast. And so that's nice. I did all of them except for Deezer, because I've never heard of Deezer before. It seems like a Spotify clone. Yes, indeed.
Sorry. Come on. Why would you name your service this? It's a nightmare.